everyone. I'm here to talk to you about writing assignment number 5 for the CCR class. And as you guys might recall, you are writing an argument, a very small argument, based on something you read in Judith Ortiz-Cofer's The Myth of the Latin Woman, I Just Met a Girl Named Maria. So before I start showing you the way you might write your rough draft that I am going to ask you to work with a little bit in class on Tuesday, the 15th of November, I want to review with you the assignment instructions, because the 4 writing assignments, the 4 small writing assignments that you're working on in CCR for the end of the semester are all explained to you in this one document. You'll remember, I'll scroll the screen up so you can see. You guys see I'm in the CCR D2L section. I went to content, and then I clicked on the table of contents so that you pull up the CCR reading assignment and writing assignment 5. And then I'm inside the instructions right now. So I've scrolled down to, you guys remember, we've already gone over, like I'm just scrolling up so you can see, we've already gone over the short reading stuff, the long reading stuff in class. You guys now have the checklist for the good sized paragraph and the 1-page essay that's about one of your long readings. So this is the assignment you're doing that corresponds most directly to Essay 5 in English 121, which is your argument. You guys remember your report topic is the same topic you're using for your argument. And so we're working on argumentation a little bit in CCR as well to practice that skill. You'll be asked to write lots of arguments in college, so this is something we want you to practice with. I want you to practice with. And it's good that we can do something small and not super intimidating like Essay 5 in English 121, which is 5 pages long. This one only has to be 1 page. It can be longer. So I just want to go over the instructions with you for just a minute. You can read back through the instructions if you want, but you notice that I talked to you about how, since you're responding to an essay in the textbook, that it could be somewhat like a response essay. I kind of say that in the second sentence, but then I go on to explain that it'll be a little bit different as well, because I will be looking more specifically for how you agree or disagree with the way that she tells her story. She tells several anecdotes about treatment she's received because she's a Latin woman, and perceptions that people who aren't Latin or Hispanic have of her. And then you guys remember that I had you focus a great deal on the conclusion. So you can respond to any of the little stories she tells about those situations where she feels treated unfairly, she feels like she's stereotyped, or you can look specifically at the conclusion. The whole essay is pretty sad, actually, because she's reflecting on all these situations where she's been treated in this stereotypical way. And then the conclusion is the most optimistic, most hopeful part. So you decide which part you want to deal with, and if you want to deal with a little bit of both, you can. So you'll notice that sort of in the middle of this paragraph where the mouse is sort of waving around, I can't highlight, good. This part, well, it's not letting me highlight just the part I want, unfortunately, but this part where I talk to you about maybe taking a position on compassion or humanity. You can do that, or as you've heard me say in this video, you can focus also on any of the anecdotes, which I think I talk about in the next sentence as well, this cruel and unfair treatment she's received. So, just to remind you, you will argue in some way, so you'll have to focus on the part of the essay, one part of the essay you want to respond to. You only have to write 1 page, so you don't have to write about a couple of things that you noticed, just one. And then, 1 second. All right, sorry, had to stop there for a second and I'm back. So, one thing you want to argue with, agree with, disagree with, make a point about, but then you see near the end of the paragraph, I'm reminding you that your argument should have a clear thesis or position, have support for that thesis, as well as a brief conclusion. And just quickly, I want to talk about the support part, that you'll probably need to quote or paraphrase, or maybe even summarize the whole anecdote if you want, in the argument, so we know which part you're going to respond to, agree or disagree with. Okay, So we had a rough draft in our journal on Thursday night on the 10th, and I didn't get to check that, so I will make sure I check the one-page journal rough draft that you put inside the inside your journal, and then you should have a typed draft in class on the 15th. And as you heard me say earlier in the video, we will do something with that in class. And then you'll be presenting your argument in class. The presentation, the informal presentation, will be on December 1st, which we talked about the other night when we went over the calendar for the end of the semester. So at this point, I just want to show you, I have the essay on my computer, and I've decided that I want to respond to paragraph 10. Paragraph 10, you can respond to any of the anecdotes, as I've said, or the conclusion, which you can see in the screen right now. But I've decided that the story she tells about the man who mocks her with singing in a hotel hallway is the anecdote I want to respond to. And so I'm going to bring up my draft, and actually, yeah, I'll bring up my draft. So you guys see I've put it in MLA format. I've already given it a title. I want to respond to paragraph 10 because there's something specific going on, not only because she's a Hispanic woman, but there's something specific going on between these two individuals because he's a man of privilege. Men have a certain kind of privilege that women don't. And then he has an extra kind of privilege because he's white and he feels he can say whatever he wants to this woman. And Ortiz Cofer makes the point in the paragraph that had she been a white woman, she doesn't believe this would have happened. So I could write an argument about the ethnicity, the divide between the two ethnicities, but I think I just want to focus on the situation between the man and the woman in the hallway and why he believes he can treat her the way that he wants. So what I might do, I'm just going to make a quick outline so that you guys know what you might do in your essay. But what I might do is write a quick introduction that discusses men's and women's interactions. Just going to kind of generalize. And I'm going to change this to public interactions because this happened in a hotel hallway, so I want to address what sometimes women have to endure in public because of male attention that they don't want. And then I might write my thesis that I'm just going to write a draft here that men sometimes don't realize that women don't want attention when they are in public pursuing, let's say, professional or collegial, trying to think of something. I don't like this word, but I'm just going to use it for now because I don't care. I'm writing a rough draft, right? And I'm kind of just writing an outline. You guys can do this step if you want, but I'm not going to write the whole essay right now in front of you because that would mean this video is way too long, and I want to start wrapping up in a few minutes. So what I would probably do next is try to find a passage from paragraph 10. Again, you don't have to use paragraph 10, but I want to, and so I'll probably find a sentence there or two that I want to quote or maybe paraphrase to represent this male-female interaction that she had in public that she didn't desire at all, and sort of tell like what she says about that, and then I'm going to agree. And obviously my thesis is already agreeing. I mean, she doesn't say that exact thing. What I've said in my thesis is not stated anywhere in paragraph 10, but it's related. So I'm going to agree with her and briefly talk about the ethnic misunderstanding or assumptions that the man made. And I want to just say straight up that he made a lot of really bad assumptions, right? That's what a stereotype is all about, making assumptions about people. But then I'm going to shift to talking about his assumption that women desire this type of attention. and then tell why that's not true. My point of view, why that's not true. Okay? And then I'll write a conclusion to emphasize why, and I'm just going to call it harassment just for the sake of brevity here. Emphasize that why this harassment is a problem for men and women. Because it really isn't just for women. I mean, women have to, they receive the harassment, but men are actually causing themselves just as much grief by acting this way. If they acted differently and treated women with a different kind of respect in public, then these situations wouldn't occur, and then they wouldn't walk away from the situation with whatever happens to them, regret or guilt or whatever negative feelings come to life in them when they act in these ways, and if they ever reflect on it. So I'll deal with that in my conclusion somehow, so that both groups of people, both men and women, can learn from the situation. And so you guys see that I just want to highlight a few things. Here's the first part of my outline that makes it known that I'll be writing an argument, because I have a thesis where I take a position, and it's a pretty strong position, although I don't want to say sometimes. I'll just say men don't realize. Okay, it's a little bit stronger. Remember we talked in class about debatability the other night, and then you guys see here my body paragraph will focus on why these assumptions are a problem. That I agree with her that they're a problem. So I am still supporting my position up there, that they need to realize that it's a problem. And then I'll conclude and really stress that point at the end. So you guys will do this in a page. And just want to stress that I don't say anywhere in the instructions that this has to be multiple paragraphs. If you want to write it out as one long paragraph, that's fine. That's a little bit different from what we're doing in essay number 5 for English 121, where you have multiple paragraphs because you're writing a 5-page essay. And this is just a 1-page. If you decide you want paragraph breaks after the introduction in the thesis and break up the body paragraphs in the conclusion, that is something you can choose to do. So if you have any questions about how to write writing assignment number 5 for CCR, the one that you're basing on Ortiz-Cofer's essay, please feel free to email me. You can expect your emails from me about your poem and your essay 5 for English 121 in the next couple of days, as you saw in the homework announcement. So you can definitely just email me back and ask me questions about the assignment that you're learning about in this video, so I can help you out with that, okay? You guys have a great weekend, and I will see you in class on Tuesday.